for you and me. Your future and dreams come alive. So come on to Summer State University. Summer State University. So come on to Summer State University. From our humble beginnings, we began to shine. From taking little footsteps, we began to climb. Near or far, we have reached across summer. From Katbalogan, Mercedes, Bahanas and Basay. From our halls, we walk their aisles. Achievements and awards now we prize. Join us and we'll show you the greatness of SSU. Summer State University, soaring high with excellence. Seat of innovation, we'll build and serve the nation. Summer State University, it's the best for you and me. Your future and dreams come alive. So come on to Summer State University. Summer State University. So come on to Summer State University.
When I am down and all my soul so weary,
When troubles come and my heart burden be,
and I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas.
I am strong
When I am on your shoulders, you raise me up to more than I can be. There is no life without its hunger.
each restless heart beats softly perfectly.
But when you come and I eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk the stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. You raise me up to more than I can be.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ang isang lang matawad mo'y tagumpay na guide us on our way. Oh, Summer State University, your name is in our hearts. So today we rejoice and sing with love and loyalty. And as we cross the threshold towards the brighter day, your beacon keeps on burning to guide us on our way. Oh, Summer State University, your name is in our hearts. So today we rejoice and sing with love and loyalty.
Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Summer State University webinar on students with special needs and person with disabilities and on-the-job training students. It is my pleasure to be your host this morning. Before we start with our webinar, we will have a few house rules first. Okay, let me play the PowerPoint presentation for us to be guided with our webinar. All right, so these house rules will help us to make our webinar smooth and make it more pleasant to our audience, right? Okay, so allow me to play the presentation. Just a moment. Okay, while we are playing the house rules, I would like first to greet all the audience that we have right now here on in our Zoom and on Facebook as well. We are actually live on Facebook. Good morning, everyone. Right, there you go, house rules. So this virtual activity is going to be amazing as long as everyone follows these simple rules. All right. So rule number one, please turn off your camera and microphone if not needed. Rule number two, every Zoom participant's name must be in the following format. So it should be your family name, followed by your first name and your middle initial. As you can, the information is already flashing on your screen. So please be guided. Failure to comply will regulate you with the waiting room and not be admitted. So take note to follow this format that we have. And rule number three for Facebook Live participant, you may share, tag, or mention your friends to join this Facebook live stream, but please refrain from posting unnecessary comments in the comment section. And rule number four for Zoom participants, questions and clarifications will be entertained after the talk. By then, you may turn on your camera or mic, or you may use the chat box. The moderator will cue if you are already recognized. And also, you may key in your questions and clarifications in the comment section, but will be entertained later. That will be for the Facebook participants. All right. So I hope everyone was able to take note of those rules, and we still have of rules to be mentioned, and that will be rule number 5. Just a moment. All right. There you go. Rule number 5 for our webinar, house rules. Please stay until the end of the symposium. And also, rule number 6, make sure to fill out correctly the attendance or the evaluation and answer the questions to secure your certificate of participation. So link will be posted right after the webinar. It will be posted on our comment box or chat box. Of course, give us 35 days after the webinar to prepare the certificate of participation for both Zoom and Facebook participants. It shall be sent to the email you used in the attendance link. All right, take note of that. And on behalf of those who will not be able to join the live stream of the webinar or attendance or the evaluation link will be available until the end of the semester. All right. Oh, there you go. So I'm pretty sure everyone was able to take note of those house rules. And I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all of you who are present here today virtually. Hello, guys. We appreciate you taking time off on your busy schedules to join us today. I hope everyone will have a fruitful and meaningful Wednesday. And according to Anatoly France, and I quote, allow me to quote this quotation, to accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream, not only plan, but also achieve. Isn't that correct? Are you agree? Do you agree with me, guys? This quotation is just perfect for our activity this morning for our students and viewers. And I'm pretty sure you will gain a lot of knowledge from this webinar. And as your master of ceremony, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Daryl, and I'm one of the faculty here in Mercedes campus. And now that we're all geared up for our activity, allow me to first recognize and acknowledge virtually the University President of Summer State University, Dr. Marilyn V. Cardozo, the 4 Vice Presidents of this institution, Dr. Felisa E. Gumba, VP for Academic Affairs, Dr. Ronald Orale, VP for Research and Extension Services, Dr. Lydia A. Gonzalez, VP for Administrative and Finance, and of course, VP for Students Affairs and Services, Engineer Maria Lourdes P. Amante. Moreover, I would like also to acknowledge virtually the presence of our keynote speaker, who is now with us today live via Zoom, Mr. Rostam D. Clemente. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning. And faculty and personnel from the different colleges, students, once again, good morning, and welcome to this webinar on students with special needs and person with disabilities and on-the-job training students. So to formally start the program, allow me to give you the rationale of this webinar so you will know what to expect. So as the global job market becomes increasingly mobile and competitive, the university gives value to the need of students with special needs, persons with disabilities, and on-the-job trainees. To do even more and to stand out and boost their personality from the crowd, the Students' Welfare and Development Services Needs and PWDs prepares students to prepare the demands of the industry by providing them basic skills needed for goal setting, training, and in-service education. Of course, this is the very reason why we are conducting a series of soft and hard life skills webinar that could enhance and augment students' knowledge on the above aspects. All right, so moving right along, so I hope everyone was able to take note of the rationale of this webinar. So moving right along, it is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker or keynote speaker. So our keynote speaker is a certified CESCO Networking Academy instructor, and he's also a program head in the Information Technology Department and a manager for Tech for Education Center in Eastern Visayas State University, Carigara campus. He graduated with his bachelor's degree in Information Technology at Eastern Visayas State University, Tacloban City in 2005. And in 2017, He graduated with his master's degree in information technology at Eastern Visayas State University, Tacloban City. And as of right now, he is a candidate for graduation for Doctor of Philosophy, specializing in technology management at Palumpon Institute of Technology, Palumpon Leyte. And for his affiliation, he is the Vice President for External Affairs in the Philippine Society of Information Technology of Educators in Eastern Visayas region. Wow. He is also a Public Information Officer for Council and Deans for IT Education in Region 8. And moreover, he's also the technical advisor and the founder of the Junior Programmers Guild and a member of the Philippine Schools, University, and Colleges Computer Education System Society, what we call the P-Success. He is also a member of the Asian Society of Teachers for Research, Teachers Dignity Coalition, Computing Society of the Philippines, and the EVSU Carigara Campus Faculty Association. And in addition to his achievements, ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, his research entitled Development of Online Hatchery Monitoring and Feeding Management System for Nile Tilapia was published in the International Conference on Humanoid Nanotechnology, Information Technology, Communication and Control, Environment and Management. Whoa. So, ladies and gentlemen, so without further ado, it is with excitement that I am pleased to welcome our guest speaker to our activity this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming virtually our keynote speaker, Mr. Rostom D. Clemente. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Sir Darrell,
All right.
for that wonderful introduction. Okay, good morning, everyone. So today, now I'm tasked to discuss to you. Actually, Ma'am Kanyal, Dr. Kanyal, asked me to share with your students anything that is related to computer, no? So, but I decided to share with you guys Google Apps for Education instead. So this is actually very helpful for the students, especially now that we are more on distance learning. So this is very helpful. This Google Apps for Education is really very helpful nowadays. So allow me to share with you my screen. Okay. So Google Apps for Education is a free suite of tools that can be used in your classroom to improve connectivity, collaboration, and engagement. So Google Apps for Education tools include commonplace tools such as Gmail, calendars, documents, presentations, and spreadsheets. But in the GAP environment, these commonplace tools transform into collaborative anytime, anywhere learning opportunities. So proper integration of technologies such as the GAFI or the Google Apps for Education can open up previously unattainable opportunities for personalization of learning. Students can now virtually visit any location on Earth, conduct simulations, create presentations, and communicate globally. Activities that were previously prohibitively expensive, no, because software are really very expensive, no. But with these apps that Google has shared to all of us, it's very you can just create a Google account, and then you can now access all the apps that Google can offer. So as I've said, no, activities that were previously prohibitively expensive, time-consuming, or impractical can now be accessed for free, with Google Apps. Now, when a classroom goes Google, a diverse set of apps and web-connected devices is combined to create powerful tools capable of transforming the classroom. So throughout this webinar, you will learn about the various applications that teachers and students use to collaborate in a digital space. So in this topic, we're going to look at a brief overview of some of the Google Apps for education. So the Google Apps include some very useful computer programs to make learning and teaching more efficient. So with little knowledge, you can easily use tools in a way to work for your own teaching and learning content in style. So the Google Apps Suite is similar to Microsoft Office Suite, which includes Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. So there's no doubt that Microsoft Office apps have more features overall, but the Google Suite's big advantages are, number one, of course, they are free, They are completely free. And to Google Apps, they are also completely cloud-based. So there isn't any software to install, and all files are stored on the internet. As long as you can get online, you have instant access to all of your Google Apps files from any device, and sharing or collaborating with your teachers, and with your other students or colleagues. It's super easy. Now, because all of your work is saved in real time, your files are live on the internet. Okay, so this time I want you to go to menti.com, and I want you to give at least 5, what Google Apps are you familiar with? So visit www.menti.com and then use the code 13101594, or you can simply scan the QR code to be able to answer the survey, So what Google Apps are you familiar with? Again, you visit menti.com and use the code 13101594. So I got one answer. I've got 2. Okay. Gmail, Drive, Google Classroom, Microsoft Word, Google Sheets, YouTube, Microsoft Excel, Calendar, Google Meet. Okay. Most of you guys use Gmail and Drive, Google Classroom. Okay, some more. So Google Drive, Gmail, Google Classroom, Google Docs. Okay. Okay, so most of you have been using Gmail. Of course, now that's very useful. Google Classroom for your online class, Google Drive, Google Docs. Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you for your participation. Anyway, so I've seen that based on our survey, no, we have Gmail, no, it's been commonly used app, no, in Google, and then the Google Classroom. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the core apps of Google Suite for Education. So we'll be talking more about Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Sheets, Slides, and Forms. So I will not be dealing with all those apps because there are a lot of apps that Google, is offering us for free. So we'll just tackle some of these core apps of Google Suites for Education. Okay, so Gmail, no, is a free email service provided by Google. So in many ways, Gmail is like any other email service. You can send and receive emails, block spam, and then create an address book or perform other basic email tasks. But it also has some more unique features that help make it one of the most popular online email services. And then we have Google Drive. I know you're also very familiar with this. So Google Drive is a free service from Google that allows you to store files online and access them anywhere using the cloud. And then Google Drive also gives you access to free web-based applications for creating documents, spreadsheets, presentations, and more. So this includes, of course, the Google Docs. So it is a word processing application that helps you write reports, planners, or any kind of text. So it's easy to format your documents with different fonts and colors, and you can easily add photos from the internet, from within the apps, and then resize them, make your own text wrap around them. Then student can use Google Docs to create nice looking documents that are easy to edit and revise. They can also access the documents from any internet connected device, meaning that they can work at home or or the on the same document. So teachers can also use Google Docs for planning and collaboration, sharing with their students, no, and then with and also with other Google users. So it's very easy for teachers, no. So it's often used Google Apps to create team documents. So it's also possible to insert internet links to Google Docs, make it easy to jump to other web resources. So later we'll go into these apps, no? Since I know you're already familiar with these apps, so I'll be just sharing with you some tips and tricks on these Google apps. Okay, we also have Google Sheets. So it is a spreadsheet application similar to Microsoft Excel. So while Google Sheets can be used by students, it's really useful also for teachers for organizing data. For example, you can create a spreadsheet that stores contact information. You can also use Google Sheets to record and analyze assessment data. It's easy to automatically calculate averages or to sort values from highest to lowest. So you can use Google Sheet to track reading levels with one click. You can sort students by reading levels and create reading groups and check out these used for Google Sheets. You can use it to quickly create report card comments. So it's very useful. It's like if you're familiar with Google, with Microsoft Excel, then it would be easy for you to use these Google Sheets. You also have Google Slides. This is a slideshow application that can create presentation with text, pictures, audio, or even video. Teachers and students can use a slideshow to present and teach content using a computer or mobile device in a projector. So multimedia slideshow can really help teach students with different learning styles. As you can see, it's possible to introduce individual elements of a slide, one at a time. These grateful word problems, and you can even project onto a whiteboard so that your students can write on the board to solve problems. You also have Google Forms. This is really very useful. It is a surprisingly versatile tool with a wide variety of uses. It can be used as a form creation tool in the traditional sense, but this powerful app can do a lot more. So it can be used to design customized quizzes that can be automatically scored. It can be used to create branching activities to take users to different pages depending on their answers. So, and yes, it can be used to create surveys to automatically generate graphs and charts. So if you're working on your thesis, this is very useful, especially in this time of pandemic. So you don't have to go physically to your respondents. Instead, you can use Google Forms to conduct your surveys. Okay, so this time, again, let's go back to menti.com and try to use this code 7789 and 6343. Now I want to know how familiar are you with Google Apps. So there are from the apps that I presented, I want to know how familiar are you with these apps. So again, go to menti.com and use the code 77896343, or simply scan the QR code. Okay, I've got 4 response. So Gmail, Calendar, Drive, Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Forms. So okay, I've got 6 answers, 6 responses. Very familiar with Gmail, Calendar, Google Drive, and Google Forms. So, okay. Okay, so most of you are very familiar or at least an expert, no? On Gmail, Drive, and Google Forms. Okay. For your participation. So let's move on. Okay. Okay, so since all of you know are very familiar with this app, so I'll just give you some tricks and tips about Google apps, no? So let's go to Gmail. Okay, so I know most of us are using Gmail since we are now having this distance learning modality, no? So Gmail is really very helpful nowadays. So I think all of you guys have Gmail accounts, okay? So I will not be dealing on the basics of Gmail since all of us are using this platform, okay? So hopefully these tips and tricks will help you in dealing with Gmail, no? So number 1, so creating a Google account is needed to access Gmail because it is just one of the many services offered by Google to registered users. So this means whenever you're assigned to Gmail, you're automatically signed into your Google account. So you're able to easily access other Google services like Google Docs, Google Calendars, YouTube, and other apps that the Google has, no? Okay. So let's start with your Smart Compose. Okay, so Gmail Smart Compose feature finishes your sentences for you. No, when you begin typing out an email, Gmail's artificial intelligence algorithm will guess what you're trying to say. So by pressing the tab key, the suggestion will automatically populate the email. So if you're late. Okay, so when you try to compose, no, so if your Smart Compose is enabled, the moment you type a word or letter, so the Gmail gives you some suggestions on what to write. Okay, so to enable, no, you just go click this gear and then go to settings. And then under general, go to Smart Compose. So if you click this one, writing suggestions on, and then also this Smart Compose personalization. So this personalization is it's like the way you compose your sentence, no, you have to every time you type and the way you compose, you have to save, no, and then the way he gives you suggestion is based on the way you compose your, or the way, or I mean, it uses your writing style, no. So you click this one, and then what else? Okay, so click save changes. Okay, just like that. Okay, all you have to do is just to press tab. If you're okay with that, so you just press tab and then there you go. So that is Smart Compose. Okay. So by the way, when composing an email, please do not forget to write the subject. Okay. Ayoko to kalimti kay subject is very useful when it comes to filtering your emails. Okay, and for us teachers, no, students, makuri dani bilingon ito yung mga emails pag wariya subjects. It's really very important to put the subject, no, every time you send emails to your teachers. Okay, what else? So another thing that Gmail has, no, is the undo send. So the momentary panic that sets in when you write dear Kylie instead of dear Kendall, no, or on that work email is now and forever officially handled. So Gmail now has the option to recall a resent, a sent message up to 30 seconds after you've sent it. So pwede nga niya unsend, no? Just like in Facebook, in Messenger, pwede na nimo yan na ma-unsend it mo message. So with Gmail, pwede nag-happy but only up to 30 seconds la. Okay, so di man ito ya. Click again the settings, CO settings, and then undo send, this one. So send cancellation period, pwede mo set from 5, 10, 20, up to 30 seconds. So just click it and then don't forget to save changes. Okay, so let's try to send an email and then undo it.
Kaya kung sabi din na lang.
Okay, then send. Okay, you can see down here on your this one, no, you can still undo the message that you have sent, although it's already been sent, no, but still you can do within 30 seconds. You just click it and it will go back to your email. No? And then you can still edit it and then send it again. Okay. So that's the feature that Gmail has, the undo send. Okay. So next is schedule send. No, with Gmail scheduling feature, you can decide when exactly an email gets sent by clicking the little upward arrow next to send and selecting a time and date. You can stay on top of deadlines while still living your life. I don't know if you have heard this Facebook post na an iya husband namatay na, no? But then na-surprise niya wife that during her birthday, may mga email pa na nakarawat niya, no, from her husband. So aniya to ginigamit actually is this schedule send. So to do that, compose, and then adiman siya, no, this drop down arrow beside the send button. You can actually schedule send. Okay, so you can pick the date and time. Okay, just like this, and then you can select the specific time that you want to send your email. So you can, even if you have, if you're on vacation or you have other tasks to do, no, you can make your work in advance and then send it as scheduled. So there's nothing to worry on the deadlines and the dates, no, that you need to meet. So all you have to do is to schedule sending your email by using this feature, schedule send. Okay. So next is adding signature and logo to your email. Okay, so the moment you compose your email, there's no need for you to be writing an e-signature right after your message. No, you can actually create several signatures depending on, like here I have signature for my emails for related to school, and then I also have a signature related to the Cisco Networking Academy, and I also have a signature related emails that are related to PSite, no? So you can actually create several signatures that you can use for your emails. So for example, this email is school related, no? So I want to use signature, me being the department head. So it automatically appears there, no, the e-signatures in your email. Okay. So to create a signature, you have to do is just click this one, manage signature, or you can go to settings directly. And then go to signature. Okay. So click create new, and then type in your name and then your title under your name that you wanted to use as your signature. And then you can set this one as your default email, and then on reply or forward use, you can also use a default signature. So here, what I call here, ginbutan ko lang new signature so that I can use whatever signature I wanted to use. And then don't forget to save changes and then click OK. So if you have more, If you want to create more signatures, you just click this one, create new, and then save. Okay? So ma-appear na siya dito every time you compose, ma-appear na siya dito. Ini yung abagang ball pen, no? Insert signature. Okay? You can also add logo to your if you're in a company, you can add logo. No? Insert image. So pwede mo ka mag-add niya dahil in logo for your signature. So all you have to do is to upload an image. You can go directly to your drive, or you can upload from your computer. Okay. Next is your email address. Did you know that your email address, di ba danay ito ato email address are very long, no? Danay maiha, makurihiya mahinumduman, no? Especially if your email is very long, no? Actually, you can put ano tawag niya? A dot or a period, no? Into your email address. You can insert period in your email addresses para mautod-utod, no? Actually, Gmail does not read periods in your email addresses. So, for example, I have an email which is RZTM Clemente at gmail.com, no? Pwede mo siya butangan in period in between para malaksi, especially if you're using your family name and your first name, you can put that, no? So it doesn't affect your email address, your current email address. So still you can receive and send emails using this using the same email address, no? Nga gimbutangan mo hindat because Gmail does not read dots in between your email addresses. Okay? So pwede ito yan, no? Marireceive ito niya gihapon na akong RGTM Clemente nga Gmail. Bisan butang ko yung dot in between. Also, you can use, di ba pag nagsa-sign up kita anong tawag yun? Nagsa-sign up kita for example, GCash, no? Di ba nahatag kita ang email address nga to? So, you can actually use or insert the plus symbol and add another text to, especially pag nagsa-sign up ka for mga online para makikita nimo kung ito nga mga nagsisend imo, especially pag may mga spam emails ka, masabtan mo kung dinhi natikang because an email address, pag naghatag ang email address, for example this email address, you can actually add, no, for example nag-sign up ako for GCash, no? So pwede ka butangan yung GCash. So that kung makakaraot ng mga emails nga may da plus GCash no masabtan mo yang tikang talaga hiya GCash or tikang hiya didtuhan imo gin applyan, no, or kung di ka nag-sign up that nga imo gin butang, no, or gin fill in nimo email address. Okay? So para may tigaman ka kung ini nga nagi-spam imo kung tikang inidiin, no, or kung for example ano mo kung di ka nag-login or nag-sign up, masasabtan mo kung nag-spam ba nira imo. So you can use plus GCash or any text, no, because Gmail does not read any text after the plus sign. Okay? So pero marireceive mo lang ito gihapon ito nga imo rgtm.clemente@gmail.com itong message. So let's try this one. Okay, send. Okay, let's try if marireceive ba dito na akong rztm.clemente na email. Ano na? Okay, adi na oh. See? So na-receive ko lang higap even though gimbutan ko yung plus Gcash. Okay? So it does not affect no your email address. Still na-receive lang higap niya. So you every time you try to look for your for these emails, then you can just search for that for the word, no, for the text that you have incorporated in your email address. So it's easy for you to search, no? Okay. So next is the shortcut. Actually, no, the Gmail has shortcut keys. No, if you want to enable the shortcut keys in Gmail, especially pag medyo malaksi ka na mag-type, no, pag imo life is puro Gmail na lang, no. So Gmail is chock full of keyboard shortcuts that can make it far easier to handle your inbox. So you can watch your email compose screen suddenly appear when you press Control letter C on your keyboard, or automatically visit your drafts by clicking B+D. So these are just example of shortcut keys used in Gmail. So to enable that one, simply press Shift plus question mark. Shift plus question mark. There you go. So it will show you all the keyboard shortcuts that can be used in your Gmail. Okay. So damo ito ra, no? You can study that one and then use them when you navigate your Gmail. Okay. Next is no. Can you see this star? No, actually, this star in your email is actually used for organizing your emails. Okay, pwede mo i-assign a certain star for all your emails coming from your school or from your class, no? Specifically, pag ito nimo specific subject, you can assign a star so that when you search or filter your emails, so malaksi hiya ma-filter, no, or makita nimo mga emails, especially if you have more emails in your inbox. Okay, so to organize your star, click this one, look for star. Adi man, star, no? So di na makikita ito kung may mga pinan-click ka na nga stars. Okay, makikita ya depende kung ano nga star niyo gina-assign. So to set your stars, you can go to settings. see all, and then look for stars. Adi man niya. Okay, so drag the stars between the list. Stars will rotate in order to show, in the order shown below when you click successfully. So to learn the name of the stars, for search over your mouse over the image. So pwede ka 1 star, pwede ka 4 stars, pwede ka all stars. No? Kung damo na gudot imo gusto i-organize. Okay, you can all use all the stars. And then click save, changes, and then you can now assign stars according to the way you organize your emails. So you can assign a star every time you click, no, na nag-iba-iba ka color. Depende mo i-assign star. So every time you hover your mouse, may kitat nga ran each star. So may red star, no? Pwede hiya purple star. Ang gamit ito niya actually pag nag-filter ka later, no, pwede mo i-search and name han star. So every time you click the star menu here, tanan niya may email nga may nimo ginassign niya star, makikita dida. So if kung damo niyan duro, you can actually use the filtering, no? Di man itiya. Like for this one, anyaran niya is purple star. So you can actually search here. Kung damo na hera, no, pwede masin ka nala has and then colon and then purple star. Then enter. Okay, so there you go. So madali na lang hiya ma-filter. So star again is used to organize your emails in your inbox. Okay, you can just to remove this star, you just simply click it again. Okay, next is if you have a Gmail account that is not an enterprise or an simple lang nga account ng Gmail, so limited lang aton ginahatag space, no, in our Google Drive and then your Gmail. So limited lang space. So but if you're using like for example school niyo, no, if you have an SSU nga email at ssu.edu.ph, so dakot iya space yung ginahatag, no. So pag nag-apply ka la masing ka la at gmail.com, so limited lang iya space. So you can actually free some space, no, by actually using the search. Click the drop down arrow and then you try to search for email that contains that consumes your memory, no, or ito nimo dida anong tawag ganin, consume na niya imo capacity dida nimo Gmail. Okay, you can actually search for emails, for example, that are greater than 10 MB megabytes. So 10 MB is already big for your email, especially if you're using your at Gmail lahing account. So you can search this one, emails that has greater than 10 MB. Click search. So ada nito nga tanan no nga dagko nga emails nimo. And then you can just click this one, select all, and then you can delete. So if you're not sure, no, if these emails nga gamit pa, you can just simply use the archive, no, or instead of using the delete button. Okay, so that's one way to free some space in your email. Okay, so this search actually in search in a drop down arrow, it's really very helpful, especially if you're in filtering your emails. Okay, so within email search using the from and kung tikang diin or kung diin mo ginsend or based on subject. That's why, as I've said a while ago, it's very important that every time you send an email, you have to put the subject, okay? Because that's one way you can filter all your emails by subject, okay? Also, if you're not sure of the emails or the recipients, you can simply type a keyword, no? The ngam aram ka nga adto ito nga email, specific nga email nga imong bibiling. So you can just type a keyword and then or anything that doesn't you sure kang that it doesn't have this type of word. Okay? Or you can filter by size, no, file size, or you can filter by the day, by the date was sent. Could be 1 day ago, 3 days ago, 1 week ago. Okay, if you're not sure, and then you can search all emails. Okay, so you can include any email that has an attachment or any email that don't include charts. So this filtering is very helpful in searching all your emails. Okay. So next is, lastly, do you know that your Gmail has a self-destruct features? Now, if you're trying to send some photos or that is very that needs to an email that needs to be that needs to self-destruct, no, sending embarrassing photos of you, no, it's very confidential, or so you give Gmail self-destruct feature a try. So like the Snapchat of emails, these messages only stay in the recipient's box for as long as you want them to. So the email cannot be forwarded, copied, pasted, downloaded, or printed, and you can even revoke access for your own account before time's up. So you can also, if you're not contented with that, you can actually set nga dapat may danya passcode. So if you're not if you think that self-destruct is not secure enough, then you can use you can generate password, no, for kumbaga an Gmail send in SMS passcode to your recipient, and then it will require passcode. So an system na ma-generate ang passcode, and then para sure ka good nga hiya ton nakakabasa iton email, and then it will self-destruct, no, depending on the time that you have set. Okay, let's try this one. So when you compose, confidential, and then click this one, no, turn confidential mode on or off. Can you follow? Okay, so recipients will have the option to forward, copy, print, or download this email. This message may still be visible to your Google Workspace, Domains admin, or Vault users for periods defined by the domain's Gmail retention rules. So you can set the expiration. It can expire in 1 week, or 1 day, 1 month, or 3 months, or depending on pirat imo gusto ka iha, ano ka iha, no? So you can set this one that will expire in 1 day. And then you can require passcode. So within no SMS passcode or SMS passcode. So before niya ma-open ang imo email, ma-require yan passcode. Bagayan one-time password. Okay? And then save and send. So ada na, no? Content expires on May 20, 2021. So send. There you go. So a phone number is required. Recipients can verify their identity using an SMS passcode. So mahatag ka nimo number. Philippines. Feel ba kita? Uraima. I think they're applicable and passcode the Philippines. So what nga di? +63 man kita, no? Anyway. So yun. Anyway, you can just disable the passcode and then it will self-destruct or it will expire on the set date. Okay? Next is the most commonly used, second commonly used Google Apps is the Google Drive.
Are you looking to get started with Google Drive? In this video, we'll cover the basics of this free cloud-based storage service. To get started, just go to google.com in your web browser. Then locate and select. If you don't already have a Google account, select Create Account. Otherwise, you'll want to go ahead and enter the email address and password for your Google account. Once you've signed in, locate and select the grid in the upper right corner. Then choose Drive. Your Google Drive will appear. It's easy to add files to your Google Drive. Just click the New button on the left to create new files or folders. Or if you already have a file on your computer, you can upload it by simply dragging it into your drive. And there we go. Let's look at a different account that's been using Google Drive for a while. Here you can see different files and folders that are stored on Google Drive. If you select a file, you'll see additional options for it appear at the top of the screen. On the left, you'll also be able to access your folders, files shared with you, and more. You also have the option to get Google Drive for your desktop. You can find it by going to the gear icon and choosing Get Drive for Desktop. If you choose to install this, you'll be able to quickly access the files on your Google Drive from a folder on your computer. Any files that you move into that folder will automatically be uploaded to your drive. One other thing we'd like to mention is the Google Drive mobile app. Available for iOS and Android devices, the Google Drive app allows you to view and upload files from your mobile device wherever you are. This can be really convenient if you want to access a file on the go or upload something from your phone. Now, it's worth pointing out that you can also edit documents on your mobile device, but you'll need to download separate apps to do this, such as the free Google Docs or Google Sheets app. All right, those are the basics, and they should be enough to help you get started with Google Drive. JCF Global. Google Drive is a lot more than just a free online storage service. It also allows you to create and edit a variety of different files. For example, you might create a Google Doc, which is similar to a file you could create in Microsoft Word. A Google Sheet, which is similar to what you might create in Microsoft Excel. Or a presentation, which is similar to what you might create in Microsoft PowerPoint. Creating a new file in your Google Drive is pretty easy. Just click the New button. Then select the type of file you want to create. In this example, I want to make a document, so I'm going to choose Google Docs. Your file will appear on a new tab in your browser window. Now you can locate and select Untitled Document in the upper left corner and give your file a name. When you're done, press Enter. If we go back to our Google Drive, and reload the page, you can see that the file has already been saved here, and we can just double-click it to open it again. Now, you may also notice that there's no save command, and that's because every file you create on Google Drive is saved automatically as you work. One other thing we like to show you is how to create a document from a template. To get started, go to drive.google.com/templates. In this example, I'm looking for a resume template. When you find a template you like, just double-click it to open it. A new file will be created on your Google Drive with the selected template. You can then customize it with all your own information to fit your needs. Now that you know the basics, you're ready to dive in and start creating your own files in Google Drive.
GCF Global.
Google Drive's free cloud storage service allows you to upload files from your computer and access them from anywhere. To upload a file, click the New button. Then select File Upload. A dialog box will appear. You can locate and select the file on your computer. Then click Open. And that's it. The file will be uploaded to your Google Drive. If you're looking for a faster method, you can also click and drag files and folders right into your browser window to upload. This can help you save time if you want to put a lot of files on your Google Drive at once. Google Drive also allows you to preview and edit many different types of files, even if you don't have the software for that file on your computer. For example, let's take a look at this spreadsheet I uploaded that was originally created in Microsoft Excel. You can just double-click the file to open it, and a preview of the file will appear. Now, if you want to edit the file, select Open in Google Sheets at the top of the screen. Do keep in mind that with some files, you might see some issues, especially with formatting. Still, all my data is here, and it's easy to edit it. And even though I opened it using Google Sheets, any changes will be saved in the original file format. Although Google Drive makes it easy to edit files in their original format, you also have the option to convert files to a Google format. After you open the file, you can go to File to find the option. In this example, we can convert it to the Google Sheets format, so we'll select Save as Google Sheets. Now, if we go back to our Google Drive, we can see that there are now two versions of this spreadsheet. The original spreadsheet that was created in Excel and the new Google Sheets file. Note that the icons also vary depending upon what type of file it is. If you have a lot of files you want to convert to a Google format, you can change the settings to make converting files automatic when you upload them. To do this, locate and select the gear icon near the upper right corner. Select Settings, then check the box for Convert Uploaded Files to Google Docs Editor Format. When you're finished, click Done. All right, those are the basics, and they should be enough to help you get started with uploading files and folders to Google Drive. If you've been using Google Drive for a while, you may find you have a lot of different files, and that can make it hard to find what you're looking for. Fortunately, Drive has a lot of features built in to help you find the files you need and keep your files organized. For example, if you're looking for a particular file, you can use the search bar at the top. Just click the bar, type what you're looking for, and press Enter. If you think you found the file you need, but you're not quite sure, you can use the preview option to just give it a quick glance without actually opening it. To do this, select the file, then click the preview button near the upper right. From here, you can choose to open the file for editing, or click the arrow on the left to get back to your drive. Sorting is another useful feature. For example, you can sort your files alphabetically from A to Z, or from Z to A, or by when they were last modified. This can be really helpful when looking for a file you edited last week or last year. Filters are similar to the search option, but they're a little more broad and can help to narrow down your files if you're not quite sure what you're looking for. To use a filter, click the small arrow on the right in the search box. Then use the drop-down menu to select what you're looking for. In this example, I'm just looking for spreadsheets that I created. Then go ahead and click Search. And there we go. If you have a lot of files on your Google Drive, folders are probably the best way to keep related files together. To create a new folder, select the New button. Then click Folder. Type a name for your new folder. Then press Enter or click the Create button. Your new folder will be created. To add a file to a folder, simply click and drag. You can then double-click to open a folder. And here's the file that we added. Let's go back to Drive and try adding multiple files to a folder at once. There are a few different ways to do this. For example, you can click and drag to select multiple files. Another method is to press and hold the Control key on your keyboard, or the Command key if you're on a Mac computer, and then click the files you want to select. You can also use this method to deselect a file that you didn't need to choose. If there's a file you no longer need on your drive, you can delete it. To delete a file, simply select it, then click the Remove button in the upper right. When you do this, the file will be moved to the trash. But for the file to be deleted permanently, you'll need to click the trash, select the drop-down menu near the top, and then select Empty Trash. This will permanently delete any files or folders in the trash can, which can free up space in your Google Drive. Okay, there's just one more thing we want to show you. If you want to see all of the options you have for a file, you can right-click it. From here, you can preview the file, open it for editing, share it, or even download a version of the file to your computer. All right, those are the basics, and we hope these tips will help to keep your drive organized and make it easy to find the files you need.
Okay. So Google Drive is one of the most popular cloud storage services available today. And if you've never used a cloud-based storage service like Google Drive before, so those videos will help you to consider the advantages of keeping your files online, because files can be accessed from any computer with an internet connection. Drive eliminates the need to email or save a file to a USB drive. And because Drive allows you to share files, working with others becomes much easier. So it's really very helpful to have this Google Drive, especially during the time of the Super Typhoon Yolanda, wherein some of our files were destroyed, because we failed to use we failed to use the cloud, we never uploaded our files to the cloud, where in fact there's no need for you to be, for example, waray ka USB drive or a hard drive, waray ka computer. Okay, so all you have to do is make an account with your Google, and then Google Drive will serve as your storage in the cloud. So there's nothing to worry about. For example, waray ka computer, waray ka flash drive, to store your documents, especially your itong mga personal documents nimo. For example, nag-apply kang trabaho, tanan niya imo files, you upload it to your Google Drive, so that anytime, anywhere, you can just download it and print it and then submit, or you can just attach it to your email and then send it to your to the company that you're trying to apply for. So that is very useful. Google Drive is very useful. So this with Google Drive, you can add ito tanan ang mga Google apps like Google Docs, Google Sheets, tanan nga mga like Office Suites, ada ha sulod in Google Drive. Okay, so Google Drive is really very helpful, especially if you want to save space in your email, so there's no need for you to sending the actual file or the actual attachment no nga imo isi-send, all you have to do is just link it to your Google Drive and then share it, so it won't consume space in your email. Okay, especially if you're not using an institutional email. Okay, so limited lang nimo space, so sending your recipient a link or share mo lat imo files from your Google Drive, so it actually saves some space in your email. So same is true with your recipients. No, diri mapupunit iya inbox nga to imo mga yun send, especially if you're sending a file that has dakot iya space nga gikakaon. Okay, so let's move on to the apps inside Google Drive. So we have, as I've mentioned earlier, these are the types of files you can create or share on Google Drive. We have the Google Docs for composing letters, flyers, essays, and other text-based files. This is similar to Microsoft Word documents. You also have spreadsheets, Google Sheets for storing and organizing information, similar to Microsoft Excel. And we also have Google Slides for presentations, for creating slideshows, similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. So one good thing about Google Drive is this Google Forms, no, for collecting and organizing data, especially pag nagsasurvey ka, if you're into research, no, you can use Google Forms to conduct surveys. So instead of going to your respondents physically, just you can send them the link and then conduct your survey. So this is really very helpful, especially in this time of pandemic. So it also have Google Drawings, no, for creating simple vector graphics or diagrams. So let's go to Google Docs. So I will not be discussing in depth on Google Docs, since I think more of all of us are familiar with the Microsoft Office suites, no. So if you're familiar with Microsoft Office, I mean Microsoft Word, then you are good to go with Google Docs. Okay, so I'll just give you some tips and tricks, no, and with Google Docs. So wait lang. Okay, if you want to open a new Google Doc that doesn't need to going directly to your Google Drive, now you can actually just type in your address bar. Wait. So you can just type in doc.new, and then it will go directly to your new document in your Google Docs. Okay, so bagalayan Microsoft Word. But there are a few things that are really different, no? Especially it has kanina, no, warehiya save nga button, unlike in Microsoft Word, because it automatically saves all your activities in Google Docs. So you can set the file name by clicking this one and then type in the file name. Okay, so it will automatically save your document to your Google Drive. Okay, so you can also, the good thing about Google Docs, no, or even in Google Sheets, no, you can actually work with your classmates, you can work with your teachers using one document, no. So for example, I have this document. Okay, so I can actually assign, for example, I want to assign this paragraph or this sentence to one of my classmates. So i-assign ko niya nga portion din to expound, no, or to expand this portion or to look for related literature about this topic to my classmate. No, all you have to do is to highlight this one and then click this one, add a comment, or you can click this editing mode. No, click the drop down arrow and then click suggesting. No, suggesting. So it edit becomes a suggestion. Okay, so you can add comment, and then if you want to assign this portion to your colleague or to your classmate, you can type the plus sign, and then click in select the email address of your classmate or your teacher or anyone that you're working with this file, and then it will automatically you click this one, assign to Anthony Cotoner, and then the assigned person will be notified and responsible for marking as done. So the moment you assign this one, Gmail will send him a notification via email regarding this topic. Okay, so notify niya dito nga may dahiya trabaho on, okay, that this portion is assigned to him. Okay, and then click assign. Oh, you can share with one person, you can add comment, you can edit the comment, and then you can turn on the link sharing on, but you can share that one to one person la. No, because it's specific man layas. Then click comment. So ito na. So may danahin tigaman. So every time you will be working actually with one document la. So ini nasi-share ini nga to kan Mr. Cotoner, and then you can now work on with only one file together, no? So may the new collaboration with your with this document. Okay, so this is also helpful especially if you're working with your thesis, no, especially pag ano mo teacher email mo iyan, then your teacher can just open it using this Google Docs and then make some comments and then send it back to you. So usalahi nga file, di rin nadamo nga file nga iyo gagamiton. Yeah. So you can just check on the comments there and iya mga concerns sa nimo instructor, and then you can work on it and then click done. Okay, para makita nimo imo teacher or imo instructor nga you made some corrections na didahan iya gin highlight. Okay? Also, if you're pag nag-submit ka for publication, no, ibabalik ito i-send ito yung mga document is using this, usually they use Google Docs, no, so that pag nag-edit ka, naka-highlight dito ang mga concerns and there are mga comments, and then you can work on it, and then you can click done and then send it back to them. So makita niya nga imotiya gin revise, no, at mga portion. So mas malaki siya pag trabaho. So there's no need for you to be calling on or talking physically with your colleagues regarding this topic, no. All you have to do is to make some comments and then work on it and then click done. Okay, so it's very helpful, no. You can also apply this one Google Sheets, no? Pwede ka mag-assign ito nga for example, may daka data dito nga gusto mo i-confirm haniyo accountant, then you can just highlight the text and then the data and then click assign, no? I-assign mo yang ito nga specific person to confirm kung correct ba ito yung data nga imong input. Okay, so it also applied to other apps like the Google Sheets, no, ito yung pag-assign. Okay, another thing is Hi mo, when you're in Google Docs, no, you want to you're trying to compose, no, a paragraph, and then you want to insert image, and then you want to. There's no need for you to be opening another window, no. All you have to do is to click the tools, and then explore. You can actually explore inside the environment of the Google Docs. Pwede ka na mag-explore in anything that you wanted to search. It's, for example, an image, no? Google Docs. You can click the image, and then there you go. So there's no need for you to be going out of the environment. No, ito mo Google Docs. So there's no need for you to be opening another window. Okay, there you go. You can just save it. Or pwede mo na lang i-paste niya dito. Okay. Another thing is, for example, you want to look for the meaning of a specific word. Okay. For example, this one, empirical. It also has a dictionary, built-in dictionary, no? So, so other than here, there's no need for you to be opening another application. See, so meron niya built-in dictionary. Okay. So also in Microsoft Word medania dictate, no, medaliwat iton kuan, medalat in Google Docs. Now, for example, medaka video a YouTube that you want to take note of what the video is trying to say, no? For example, ang kanina nga video, I try to play that one. You just simply click the tools, and then adiman siya voice typing. Okay, and then whatever the microphone of your computer madidetect niya ang word, then it can iiyahin at magta-type. Okay, hello, test mic. Dili siya nag-insert. Okay. Hello, hello. Okay, see? So here not nag-encode for you. So for example, may have video YouTube that you wanted to take note of what the speaker is trying to say. No, you can actually play the video, and then it na madidetect na yung microphone, then it will automatically encode what the video is trying to say, no? That audio. Okay, so it's really very helpful. Or ikaw na lang mismo at mag-dictate, and then yan at mag-encode for you. Okay, so this is the, again, in tools, the voice typing, or you can simply use Control+Shift+S to enable the voice typing. Okay, what else? If you choose get add-ons, the add-ons, your menu add-ons. Okay, under add-ons in your Google Doc toolbar, you'll be able to search for add-ons or browse through Google's most popular ones. So click this one, and then add-on, and then a few of the highest rated offering includes the Lucid Chart. Lucid Chart. Lucid Chart. Okay, you can you can download this one and then automatically ma-install here Google Docs. It will help you build flowcharts, diagrams, and more, no, within your doc. We also have this easy bib, no, for your citations pag naghimukat imo research. Okay, di ba ha, Microsoft Word may dani niya dito gihapon referencing, no, pag inserted imo mga citations. So this is pareho era function, no, with easy bib or bibliography, no. So easy bib automatically generates bibliography citations in APA, Chicago, or MLA format, and the doc2 form, which lets you easily convert information from Google Doc into a Google form. So pwede yan magamit for your surveys. Okay, so that's this is very useful if you're conducting research or you're working on your thesis. You can simply click this one and download, and ma-add na siya nga niya imo add-ons. Okay, so what else? So yun, no, that's all for Google Docs. Then next is
Or website has your citation source. Type in or paste the URL to one of your citations, and it will automatically be formatted to either the MLA, APA, or Chicago citation style. Once you've added in all your citations, you can then generate the bibliography right to your document. Easy bit for Google Docs.
so for Google Sheets, okay. So I know you're also familiar with Microsoft Excel. So Google Sheet is the same. Again, no, you can work with your tables, no, using this app.
Today I'll share with you my top tips and tricks for Google Sheets. It's a combination of functions and features that in a spreadsheet. Now, as you're watching this, let me know in the comments if there is any that you specifically like, and also share your own tips. Let's get started. Number 1, scrolling tables. I want to create a report for employee information. I have name, start date, department, and salary of the different employees, and I've also added a chart here. But here's the problem. This part doesn't look so nice. Instead of having the data in cells, I'd love to add a scrolling table here that's the same height as my chart. Here's what I can do. Press Ctrl A to select this range, go to Insert, Chart. Now it's going to take a guess at the type of chart that's right for this, and it went with column chart. That's not what I want, so click on this drop down, scroll all the way down, and you're going to see a table chart. And immediately I get the scrolling table. I can adjust the size of this and place it where I need. Don't worry, I'm going to remove the data behind this, but I want to show you something. Take a look at the name here. When I click on this, it sorts it automatically, but the sort order of the source data doesn't change.
this stays the same. I can quickly sort salary in descending order or in ascending order without changing the order of the original data set. Now for a report, we don't want to show the data here, so I'm going to cut it and put it on another sheet. And we have our nice report. Number 2, auto-aggregate chart values. I'd like to create a column chart for department and salary. But here's the problem. Department is repeated multiple times because my information is more detailed. Well, that's no problem for Google Sheets. Let's just highlight the columns we need, go to Insert Chart. It already inserted a column chart, but it plotted each single row. I want to aggregate these by department. So let's go to the side here, and for department, place the check mark beside aggregate, and we have the totals. Now I'm just going to select the series, scroll down here, and add data labels to this. And then it's just a matter of adjusting the size and placing it where we need in our report. One thing that's good to mention is that you have control over the plot area of the chart. So if you see that the title is kind of getting squashed in there, you can adjust the plot area. Now you can also get rid of anything you don't need. Just press delete and delete on this, and let's use the space on the bottom as well. Number 3, publish to the web. With Google Sheets, you can easily create a web page out of your sheet. You can also embed your sheet in a website. Just go to File, Publish to the web. You get to decide if you want to publish the entire document as a web page or a specific sheet. Now the sheet that I'm currently on is called Publish, so I'm going to select that and click on Publish. It asks me if I'm sure I want to publish. Yes, I'm sure, and I get the link. I'm just going to copy this. If you wanted to embed your sheet on your website, go to Embed and copy this code. Since your sheet is published to the web, it's accessible for anyone, no matter if they're logged into their Google account or not. As long as they have a browser and your link, they can access it. So let's check this out. I'm going to bring up an incognito browser, paste the link, press enter, and I get to see this page. Now this is live, so if I change the data, it's going to pull through here. So let's test that as well. I'll just change the first entry to a 2. Let's bring up our browser again, reload this page, and I see the updated value in the browser. Number 4, column stats. With column stats, you get to quickly get an overview of the data you have in your columns. Just go to Data and select Column Stats. Here I can quickly see the different departments and the count of departments. When I scroll down, I get to see the frequency of each value and how many unique values I have. And when I go to this column where I have numbers, I get more information. Now the count here doesn't make much sense, but I can switch my view to distribution to see the salary distribution. I get to also see the sum, average, median, minimum, and maximum values of my data set. A really quick way to get an overview of your data. Number 5, open-ended cell references. Now I really like this feature because it allows you to easily account for future data. Let's say I want to sum the salary column. Let's add a quick sum here, select the range, Control-Shift up, let's hold down Shift, go 1 cell down, close bracket, press enter, and that's my total. But the problem is it's restricted to exactly this range. If I add new numbers to the bottom of this, it's not going to be included. To make this super flexible, you can remove the row reference at the end here, and this is going to go all the way down to the bottom of your sheet. So anytime you add numbers here, it's automatically going to be included. So you can fix the starting point, because in this case, I want to start from D4 and not D1, but I can leave the end open. Number 6, insert date from a calendar. When you have a date in a cell, you can double click inside the cell to bring up the calendar. You can adjust the date if you need to. Now, if you'd like this feature to be available in empty cells so that you can double click in the cell and get the calendar, you can add data validation to these. Highlight the cells, go to Data, Data Validation, For criteria, change this to date. You can reject input if it's an invalid date and click on Save. Now, when you double click in a cell, you can pick your date. To be consistent, let's apply this formatting to our dates here. Number 7, add checkboxes to keep track. To add checkboxes to your cells, highlight the range you want to have the checkboxes in, go to Insert, select Checkbox. Adjust the color of your checkbox by changing the font color. I'm going to go with orange. You can activate the checkbox with your mouse, or you can use the space key on your keyboard. Take a look at what's in your formula bar. It says false when it's unchecked and true when it's checked. You can use this information in formulas to control other actions in your report. You can also use this information in conditional formatting. So for example, if the checkbox is checked, you can cross out this text. Let's quickly add conditional formatting to this. Highlight the range we want to have the formatting in. Go to Format, Conditional Formatting. That's our range. Our format rule is based on a formula. So I'm going to go with custom formula is, type in equals A4. That's where I have my checkbox, but I have to be mindful here of how I fix these cell references. I need to make sure that I have a $sign for A because I don't want this reference to shift. I want it to be fixed to A. Now here, I don't necessarily need to type in equals true because that's the default logical check here. All I have to do is decide what I want to happen to this. I could strike these through or just adjust the background color of the cells. Click on Done. Number 8, pivot tables for quick analysis. To quickly analyze your data, insert a pivot table. Go to Data, Pivot Table. It tries to identify the data range. In this case, it's correct. You can add your table into a new sheet or the existing sheet. I'm going to go with the existing sheet and place it right here. OK, and create. I get the layout of my pivot table here, and immediately I get some suggestions. These help me get started faster. Average of salary for each department sounds good, so I'm going to select that, and I get department and the average salary. I can see it added department to rows and salary to the values. It has summarized by average. If I want to show the maximum salary in each department, I can select max. To get the sum, select sum. Now you can also add columns to this by selecting from the list of available columns. In this case, it doesn't make much sense to add name here. To remove it, just click on the X. You can add multiple rows as well, so we can go ahead and add name here. This way we get to expand and collapse our departments and have all this information in one view. To make sure we account for future data, we can expand our reference here. So I'm just going to delete the 20, press enter, and it automatically expands it to the last available row on my sheet. This means if I add new information here, it automatically gets added to my pivot table. Number 9,
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry, nag-brown out din.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait lang. Ako I'll try to connect connect ko lahat, no? A battery naman, ano, and router.
Okay.
Okay. Unstable on internet.
All right, sir. So while you're still setting up, so once again, I would like to remind all the participants, especially here in Zoom, to please take notes of the information that was being given to us by the keynote speaker. Today we'll have a quiz, and we'll be giving a 20 peso load to the participants who will get the correct answer. So please take note of those information because we might be asking those questions later on. Okay.
We get started faster. Average of salary for each department sounds good. So I'm going to select that and I get department.
Nice, sir, huh? Very stable internet nga di.
All right, sir. No worries. Take your time, sir.
Table here.
Ito, sir,
And
ano na?
immediately I get
Yes,
something.
sir. Yeah, we
Please help me get
do
started
hear the
faster.
audio.
Average of salary for each department sounds good. So I'm going to select that and I get department and the average salary. I can see it added department to rows and salary to the values. It has summarized by average. If I want to show the maximum salary in each department, I can select max. To get the sum, select sum. Now you can also add columns to this by selecting from the list of available columns. In this case, it doesn't make much sense.
Hi, sir. It seems that we cannot hear the audio of your video.
May audio na, sir?
I'm just
We
going
can
to
hear you, sir. However, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we
also
can now
sort
hear the
your
audio,
list
sir.
dynamically. So if I wrap the unique function inside the sort function, I get this list sorted in ascending order. To have it sorted in descending order, I need to add false for the third argument. So the second argument is the sort column. In this case, I just have one column, so I'm going to type a 1 and false for ascending. So I'm going to get this in descending order. Now, before we wrap this up, let's take a look at the filter function. Let's say we want to get the list of people who work in the finance.
Hello, sir. I do apologize once again for the interruption. Apparently, we cannot hear the audio of your video.
Nakabati na niyo audio, sir?
Right now, sir, we don't hear the audio, sir.
Okay, wait lang.
All right, thank you so much.
Pagbalik pala kasi yung light niya di.
Yeah. But however, the video is playing perfectly. It's just that we cannot hear the audio from the video.
Or working professional. So
Yes, sir,
in this
Midnight.
video, I'm going to share
Yes,
the
sir.
top
There you go. Thank you so much.
creation, collaboration, and presentation stages of the Google Slides lifecycle to make your life just a tiny bit easier. Let's get started. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jack, and I'm all about practical career and productivity tips. So if you're a student or working professional, consider subscribing for more actionable content. Starting with the tricks that will help you create amazing presentations. Tip number 1, using the explore and drive functions to quickly find images. So let's say I want to create a speaker slide for this totally real panel discussion that we're having. First speaker is Superman, so I go to the explore button down here, type in Superman, and go to images here and find an image that I like. This Lego one seems kind of cool, so I press the plus button to insert it directly into the slide, resize a little bit, get rid of the link, and we'll come back to this. The second speaker, Spider-Man. I don't want to use something from Google Images because, as we all know, Peter Parker takes no photos. So instead, I go to Insert, Image, a Drive, and I have a picture of Spider-Man actually over here, and I simply just drag and drop it over. Resize it while holding down Shift. All right. Now, a square or rectangular picture doesn't look very good, so we can quickly edit these photos using tip number 2. Crop to a specific shape directly. If you already have a square photo like the Spider-Man one, the process is very easy. Go to the downward arrow next to the crop button, shapes, and click circle, and boom, there you have it. Now, for rectangular photos like the Superman one, you can double click it to bring up the crop tool, drag the black lines over to make a sort of square shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just eyeball it right here. Press enter to crop and repeat the process, shapes and circle, and there you have it. In all seriousness, I use the insert image drive feature a lot when making post-event debrief slides, because we usually have a folder full of pictures from the event. So when making the slides, I can easily just drag and drop the good ones onto the page, as opposed to copy pasting between applications. Tip number 3 is to automatically resize your text box to fit the text inside. So let's say I wanted to add a description for Superman. I'll go to the text box selection here. Hi everyone, my name is Superman. I stand on the side of justice. You'll notice that the text box is smaller than the text itself. Now, you can click on this button here and shrink text on overflow or resize shape to fit text. By doing this every single time would get super annoying. So what you can do is go to Tools, Preferences, and make sure the Use Custom Autofit Preferences is checked. And make sure you've selected Resize Shape to Fit Text for the code and press OK. Now, if I want to create a text box for Spider-Man, hi everyone, I'm your friendly neighbor, Superman. You'll notice that the text box itself has expanded up. To fit the text field. Google Slides productivity tip number 4 is related to the format paintbrush here. I'm sure all of you have used this feature before, but did you know in Google Slides you can double click it and apply the same formatting to as many elements as you want without having to re-click it? Check this out. So I have this selected here, right? I double click the format, apply, and then press escape to exit out. Google Slides productivity hack number 5 is to use the new and improved master slide function to update all slides in one go. So you don't have a professional corporate presentation that have this like injection display on the bottom left, right? Instead of having to copy paste on every single slide, you can select these two C or C from Windows, go to Slide, edit master, and paste it onto the corresponding master slide. I say new and improved because unlike before, you can actually see the slide that will be affected. For example, if I change this master slide, this will affect these 3 actual slides. So if I want to cover every single slide, I'd have to repeat this process 2 times. Obviously, this is a lot more useful if you have 50 or more slides in a single presentation. By the way, please let me know down in the comments below if you actually like this format of me going through the process of making slides as opposed to just spitting out tips randomly. Now, moving on to the inevitable collaboration phase of your presentation lifecycle, where your teammates screw up everything you've done so far. Productivity tip number 6, search for specific Google Slides documents directly from Google Drive. There might be times when you're searching for a Google Slides doc and you don't want like sheets, docs, or other folders to pop up in your search. So what you can do is, in addition to the keyword, you can type in type presentation, and only Google Slides and PowerPoint documents will show up in your search results. Or sometimes, especially at work, you might have a lot of Google Slides shared with you, right? If you want to just find the ones created and owned by you, you can type in owner, me, and this filters out only the ones you created. Of course, you can replace me with the name of your colleague or teammates as well. If you watch my Google Doc video, this next one might not be too much of a surprise, but productivity tip and trick number 7 is to send your Google Slides in presentation mode directly. Before sharing, you just want to replace the edit word here with the word present. And now when you send that new link over, they'll open it in presentation mode automatically. This is very useful if you have a final draft and you want someone to quickly run through and review it without the need to make any edits. Similarly, you can replace the word here with the word copy, and this forces the viewer to make a copy of a Google Slides document. Just remember to make sure your sharing settings are correct before sending the new links over. Speaking of copying, Google Slides productivity tip number 8 is to make a clean copy of specific slides. What does this mean? 2 things. So let's say you want to copy 3 specific slides from my presentation. You would hold down Command or Control on Windows, select the 3 slides, go to File, make a copy, select the slides, and before you press OK, check Remove All Speaker Notes to remove all the speaker notes down here to make a clean copy. What I like to do at work is if I come across a presentation I really like, I just steal it. No, I ask my colleagues permission to make a copy, rename it to template, and the type of presentation it's used for. For example, project briefing. So next time I can just right click and make a copy whenever I want to create a new presentation for that use case. Bonus time. As a thank you for sticking with me this far, I've included a link to this beautiful template my friend made down below. I've used it before. I've taken out all the content, but it looks really pretty, so you can use it right away. Lastly, the presentation stage. The moment you get to shine in front of the audience. Productivity tip number 9, quickly skip or reorder your slides. We've all been there. With 3 minutes to go, someone tells you, hey, let's skip the slide or move this to the beginning or to the end. No problem. Simply right-click the slide you want to take action on. You can choose to skip it. So in presentation mode, this slide gets skipped over. Or if you want to move a slide to the beginning or end, simply choose the corresponding action down here. Presentation tip number 10, navigate to a specific slide in presentation mode. Now, there are actually 3 different ways to do this. Number 1, you can actually just go down to the menu here and click the slide you want to go to. Or number 2, if you're feeling very confident in your memorization abilities, you can literally type in the slide number and press enter to jump to that slide. Or my personal favorite, number 3, if you know you're going to go to a specific slide, just hyperlink it beforehand so there are no awkward pauses in between. The cool thing about slides is that if you hyperlink to a specific page, let's just use this as an example. I want to hyperlink to that slide just now, Command K. This will actually just automatically jump to that slide in presentation mode as opposed to opening up a new document. Productivity tip number 11, real quick, you can press L in presentation mode to grab the laser pointer to highlight the thing that's most important on the slide that you want to draw attention to. And finally, tip and trick number 12, include an interactive Q&A session in your presentation. So instead of actually pressing present, you actually want to go to the drop-down menu here and go to presenter view. In this view, go to audience tools and click start new. Now you actually see there's a link for your audience to go to start asking questions. And if I click into it, I can see how the interface looks and ask a question. Hi, so who would win? If I want to be sneaky, I can ask this question anonymously and then click submit. And others could upload or download my comment as needed. I love to use this feature for larger audiences because I sincerely believe a good presentation requires some sort of interactive element. And this is also a really good way for the audience to write down questions throughout your presentation as opposed to waiting to the very end and forgetting what they want to say. Let me know down in the comments which one of these tips was your favorite. And I've also included a playlist here with cool productivity hacks for other tools. See you on the next video. And in the meantime, have a great one.
Okay, so we come now to the last Google Apps that I'm going to present you, the Google Forms. Okay, so as you can see, the videos now showed some tips and tricks on how to use the Google Sheets, the Google Slides, and the Google Docs. So I hope you've learned a lot from them because it would be very helpful for you when you navigate all those applications with Google. Okay, so with Google Forms, I know you're already familiar with this because your instructors use this when they have their online quizzes, no, when they have their online survey. So this is commonly used in the Google Forms because with Google Forms, you can actually get responses from your respondents, no. Automatically the form will create data or a graph, no, based on the response. Okay, so let's try to go to Google Docs. I mean Google Forms. Okay, so this is your Google form. So you can actually create, especially if you're working on your thesis, so you're working on your research. No, you can actually conduct survey using this Google form. So you simply type in the title here. And then put some description, and then you can actually create more questions that needs a short answer, that needs a paragraph, multiple choice. You can use checkbox to drop down, and you can also upload, integrate like an image, here. You can upload. Pwede, and in response is mag-upload din ng file, no? Pwede. So we also have a linear scale, multiple choice, and check box grid. So let's try to create a simple question, survey question. For example, you're using a Likert scale, no, with animo survey that you may animo 5 selections that, for example, may animo strongly agree, undecided, disagree, or strongly disagree. So for example, an automatic fire alarm system okay, sample. And then we can have option 1, strongly agree. Or agree. 3, undecided. 2, disagree. And then 1, strongly disagree. Okay. So after that, you have to click this one. Dapat, if you deselect this one, meaning pwede mag-skip an respondent. But if you enable this one, if you activate this one, your respondent cannot move on pag pag mag-skip iyahin o saka item. Okay? So next, you can create another one. Okay, you can, if you want to, pwede short answer la, family name. Nauna natin family name. And then sunod nimo is the first name. Again, short answer here. Tapos dapat required here, permanently required, so that your respondents cannot skip this item. Next, what else? So may nakita multiple choice. About check boxes naman, if you're requiring multiple answers in one question. For example, select Statements. That is okay, just like that. Okay, so it requires one or more answer. So another type of question is a drop down. Okay, let's try this one. Okay, next. Another type is the file upload. For example, you're requiring your respondents to submit an image or a picture of their ID, no? So allow only specific file types. Pwede ka for example, you will only you only want to receive an image type. So pwede ha PDF para di rin mabuga. Okay. So maximum number of files is 1, maximum file size is 10 MB. And then what else? Checkbox, linear scale, multiple choice with the date. No, for example, put here date picker. No, for example, you're asking for a birthday, then you can use date picker. Okay, so what else? Multiple choice. For example, connect column. But sample in multiple. So yeah. Okay, so you can actually add sections. No, for example, from here, you want to add a section, meaning, for example, you can add test 2, meaning you can set this one like you cannot move from test 1 to test 2 if you cannot complete test 1. So move with the setting. Continue to the next session, go to section services. Go to test 2. And then you can also, if you're trying to create a quiz, you can actually set points, no? And you can also shuffle the order of the answers so that every time, especially if you're trying to create a quiz, no, iti answer pwede yan mag-shuffle every time nga itong display niya could be different from another respondent, no, pwede nag-shuffle niya para di rin nagpapareguhin in arrangement of their answers, selection. And then what else? Pwede hiya natin pagbutangan points. This is used for branching, no? Pwede hiya every time you mag-click you can go to another section or another item or another form. This is used for branching, no? Inihiyang go to section based answer. So pwede hiya nimo i-set and shuffle option order, and then if you want to assign this quiz, no, that's the time you can put some points and then set the correct answer for your question. So respondents can see missed questions, pwede nimo i-check or check this one, and then you can also let them see the correct answer. If you're having a quiz, pwede nimo tanggalon para di rin nila nakikita correct answer. Okay, and then you can show progress bar, shuffle question order, and you can also collect emails. So limit to 1 response, and then respondents can edit after submit. If it is a survey, then you can check this one. But if it is a quiz, I think there's no need for you to click this one. And then see summary charts and text responses. Okay. And then click save. So these are the settings, you know, for your form. You can set this one actually as a quiz, and then click save so that we can now pag set me as quiz, then you can now put some ano na here, pwede nimo i-set na niya answer, no? So choose the correct answer. So select statement that is true. Google app emails are free. Okay, and then you can add points. For example, 10 points for this one. Okay, so ano pa? Answer key. So what class you're familiar with? You can assign 3 points for this. So again, though, you can only add the answer key and the point system if you set this one as a quiz, or if not, for example, you set you're going to use this one as for survey purposes, then there's no need for you to set this one as a quiz. Okay, so those are the important points in setting your Google form. Okay, so for your responses, you can actually view the responses, and then, for example, gin send mo na hiya, no? Gin upload mo na hiya, then you can now accept responses, and then you can download the data in a spreadsheet form. So create spreadsheet, automatically it will download the responses in a spreadsheet form. Okay, then you can preview your form. Okay, so you see I'm in a progress bar. You cannot move to the next pag diri mo ya pag required ya, if you can see this red asterisk here, meaning it is required, no? You have to fill out those items. Then here you can add file, and then this is now the multiple choice, the grid, no? So docs used for flyers, sheet, data, slide, birthday, and then submit. So required idea. And then submit. Okay, so you can view your score. 13/30. So that is just an example of Google form. Okay, so let's try to check the response. Now, as you can see, may done one response here, and then it automatically generates charts, no? So there's no need for you to be analyzing all those data, because the system automatically generates this. It automatically analyzes all the responses. And then you can simply download the data in a spreadsheet form and create. And there you go. So it's really very easy to use and functional, no? Very useful ito yung mga functions. So it's easy for you to collect all those data and analyze them later, especially very useful when you're trying to conduct surveys. Okay. So when you, the good thing about this Google form is that if you try to send this one, okay, you can email it to your recipients, or you can simply give the link. No, pwede niyo mga messenger license. You can send it through email or through private message in a Facebook Messenger. So you can shorten this one, the URL, because it's very long. Then copy and then paste it to your. You can post it in your Facebook, or you can post it in your Twitter, or you can also embed it to your website. Okay, so That's it. So pwede nimo hiya email nga to imo respondent. So it's very easy to use and it's very practical, and I hope magamitan niyo, no, especially when you conduct your research. So I think that would be all. I hope you've learned from the topics that I gave you, especially on the tips and tricks on how to use the Google Apps. It would be very useful when you have your online classes and your, if you, especially if you're conducting your thesis or your research. Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Sir Rostam Clemente. Thanks so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge and expertise towards this Google app. And I'm actually trying this, some of the features of the app while you are trying to discuss some of the application. Well, actually, sir, I really love this because it will really make me more efficient with my job as well. So I'm pretty sure our audience, especially here in Zoom and Facebook, will definitely can maximize these features to make their work more efficient and more effective. Thank you so much, sir. So at this point in time, we will now proceed to the open forum. We will try to assist, or we'll try to get some of the inquiries coming from our respondents, or coming from our participants rather. So you may type in your questions to our to our chat box. And also, I'm also monitoring some of the comments here in Facebook. So by all means, if you have questions or clarifications, please type it into our chat box or to our comment box, and I'm pretty sure our keynote speaker will be happy to answer all your inquiries. Come on, guys. And right after that, we will have a questions, and then if you're able to, right after the questions, we will give a prizes. All right, so right, no questions. All right, so this point in time, I will try to call in the our moderator, sorry, Sir Jimbert Lingan. Sir, may you please assist us with the questions. That will be
Hello,
great.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. Okay. Good morning once again. My name is Mr. Jimbert Lingen, and I will be the moderator for this open forum of this webinar. So essentially, we will be using the Facebook Live's comment section in the Zoom chat box to crowdsource the questions coming from the audience. So anytime from now, guys, you may now key in your questions so that I may I could recognize your questions and will address it to our keynote speaker. All right, so as of the moment, wala pa po tayong mga questions, but I believe many are wondering about the security of this Google Apps for Education, Sir Clemente. I just want to ask, on behalf of those who are concerned with the cybersecurity of these applications, no, how vulnerable are these Google Apps for Education to hacking, phishing, or any other cybercrime? And as users, how are we, or how can we secure our information, our accounts, and prevent it from getting hacked or being spammed, no?
Okay, so actually the good thing with Google Apps is that it's totally cloud-based now, meaning it's no longer our concern. The security is not our concern. It is with the Google, no, on because because this is purely cloud-based, meaning everything is secured. Everything is taken care of by Google. So it's not our concern to, especially with the security, because I know Google is really very into security. No, especially if you can see every time we download or upload our emails or no, automatically giniscan here on Google. So they have their built-in scanner. They can for security, no, para safe it on ira system. So because it's cloud-based, meaning everything is offered through the cloud. So Google will automatically secure everything, no. So I think Google will not anong tawag nito? They will not be offering this Google apps if it's not secured, no, in the cloud, because as I've said, these apps, no, is part of the I mean the server is within the umbaga ato ya ha Google, no, tanan. So the security, I mean everything is installed with Google. So di rin na kumbaga there's no need for us to install mga security apps, no, para ma-secure aton mga data, no, every time we use this Google app. It's because the good thing about cloud computing is that and the one who offers the service is the one who secures everything, no. So that's the good thing with Google, I mean with cloud computing. So that's part of cloud computing ito natin, Google Apps for Education. So there's nothing to worry about. Our security, si Google nang bahala dun.
Okay, so I hope everyone has taken note of what our keynote speaker has answered with regards to the cybersecurity of these apps. So I have here, sir, another question with regards to the limit of the capacity of the Google Drive. So may daw po ba limit and capacity of Google Drive?
Okay. If you're using an institutional account, no, actually it's unlimited, no. That's a good thing about institutional accounts. So for itong mga anong tawag dito? Pag nag-apply ka lang, for example, if you have I think pag for example, ang imong account is kuan lahi iton common lahi ang account, I think mga pero lahi ka gig ang ginaalaw imo, mga 50 gig I think. Pero bad to yan eh. I'm not sure. So every Google account starts with 15 gig of free storage shared across Google Drive, Gmail, and Google Photos. Now, when you upgrade your Google One, you can your total storage increases to 100 gigabytes. So pwede lang up to 15 gig pag ano lang diri institutional account. No, for example, if you're using an at SSU, di ba may dakang account ito, sir, institutional account, so you are actually given a bigger capacity than imo storage. So that's what I've observed, no, using my institutional account. So I can upload as much as mga big data, no, stored in my Google Drive using my institutional account. So if you're only using your itong tawag dito, itong simple labang account, nag-apply ka lang for example at Gmail lang at imo account, then you're limited to 15 gigabytes of free storage. So you can share it across Google Drive, Gmail, and Google Photos.
Right. So I hope the keynote speaker has satisfied you with his answer, no? But I guess he had. All right. So any other questions, guys? You may key in your questions in the Facebook's comment section, in the Facebook Live's comment section, or on the Zoom chat box. All right. So another question, sir. We know that these applications are totally internet dependent and electricity dependent at the same time. So aside from those, what are the other significant challenges with regards to using this app?
Okay, that's actually our major challenge here is, of course, no, as what you've said, is the internet connectivity, because these apps are cloud-based, so meaning it needs an internet connection. But the good thing about the other apps like your Gmail, no, you can actually work with your emails or check your emails even if you're offline. So you can just turn on the offline mode, mo Gmail settings, and then while offline you can work on your emails, you can reply to your emails, and then it will just go I mean, later on when you get an internet connectivity, nag-queue lahiya, and then it will eventually masisend ya automatically. So you can, that's a good thing about some of the Google apps, because you can work on offline. Okay, so that's with Gmail. So I've tried that one. So you can pag on man mo settings sa pag on man mo offline, pag enable mo ya, then you can still review your emails, and then reply to it. So as I've said, with the moment you get an internet connection, even ginsend mo hiya nga wari connection ka, naka offline mode ka, then naka-queue lahiya, the moment you get an internet connection, then it will automatically be sent. So that's a good thing about Gmail. So may daniya offline mode. So I think that's a common problem, no, natin iton internet connection, because as I've said, since this is cloud-based, so kailangan talaga niya internet connection. So hopefully nabaton ko niyo mo answer, sir.
Yes, sir. We have here another question, sir, from the Facebook Live. It's from Louis Joe. She's asking if may limit daw po ba yung email accounts na pwedeng magawa ng isang user, ng isang tao.
Okay, so when we say limit, no, Gmail, it's actually, as I've said kanina, di ba, you only are given like a 15 gigabytes of space storage. So the limit there is pag na-consume na nimo space, no, you will no longer be able to receive and send emails. So it's very important that you filter all your emails and then delete those unnecessary files, especially with those emails with attachments. So it consumes a lot of space. So that is why it's very important to use Google Drive, wherein you can just share the link of the files instead of attaching all the files in your email. So it's very important to link your attachments to your to your Google Drive instead, no, para maximize mo space imo Gmail. So with regards to limit to emails, I think depende to ha imo na consume ng space, no. So as I've said, dependent ha imo storage capacity. So pag na-consume mo na mo storage capacity, so as I've said, I think you have to free up some space na so that you will receive and send emails.
So pero wala pong there is no limit with the accounts, like you're free to create as many accounts as you want, sir.
Yeah, so every account, then you're given 15 gigabytes for every account. So yun actually pag nadidetect naman ni Gmail pag hindi naman siguro niya na-detect pag iba-iba lang yung email address nimo na binibigay, but because I have multiple accounts using the same data, like my name and the birthday, so I think there's no limit as to how many accounts you're going to create, as long as ma-maintain mo lahat yun, no? Because actually there's no point of creating a lot of accounts for whatever purpose, no, hindi mo naman ma-maintain lahat, because the common problem with our students right now, they're creating a lot of accounts and then they fail to maintain it. Even they can't even memorize their password. So there's a common problem. Sir, I can't open my email. I can't submit my requirements because I can't open my email. Actually, that's not a reason, no. You can actually why create a lot of accounts? For what purpose ba yan magki-create ka ng damo tapos di mo yan ma-maintain, no? So you actually it's very advisable to maintain 1 or 2 or 3 accounts, no? Depende kasi imo kung para ngayon mo gagamiton. So if you ba sir allowed ba students to create an institutional email SSU? Sir?
Sorry about that. Well, actually, sir, here in SSU Mercedes, SSU, sir, we have an IT like expert who created our account for every faculty. So we're not the one who made the account. It was the IT personnel who made the account for us, sir.
Okay. I mean, sir, are your students allowed to apply for an institutional email account?
Yeah, I believe, sir. Yeah, I believe, sir, they are allowed to.
And,
Yes, yes, sir. We have institutional
okay,
accounts for our
that's good.
students.
Okay, that's good because as I've said, using your institutional account, you're given like 100 gigabytes of storage as compared to 15. No, local lang nimo nga account niya 15 gig la. Pag institutional kasi, I think you have at most siguro mga 100 gigabytes of storage capacity. So that's very helpful, no? Dakot imo pwede mo ma-maximize imo storage. So that's it, no? So if you have an institutional email, better maintain that one, and then you can also have your personal email for your personal mga transactions. So I think there's no need for you to create a lot of email accounts if you cannot maintain those.
All right, thank you very much, sir. We still have another set of questions here in the Zoom chat box. This question is coming from Mary May Pelesco. She's asking if there is a way in blocking some emails or notifications that you don't want to receive po.
Yes, I think it has, no? Pwede mo ma-block itong mga emails. For example, may mga you're receiving a lot of, kasi the moment we open like mga websites, automatically, especially pag nagsa-sign up ka, automatically they send you notifications. So it's sometimes very annoying. Sometimes it consumes a lot of space in your emails. Then you can actually block them. You can actually, ang specific na email ikakato mo spam, so that every time mo nag-email automatically na nahingat spam emails. So you can actually block them, no? Pwede mo i-block ang mga i-set mo, identify mo lang email addresses, and then just like in our cell phones, no? Pwede, di ba pwede natin i-block ito ng mga cell numbers. You can also block email addresses in your Gmail. So pwede hiya i-block.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So, imagine how easy things can get if you just have the right tools, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe that ends the open forum for this day's webinar. So may I give back the floor to the Master of Ceremony, Mr. Daryl Casano, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Jimber Lingan. Thank you so much for helping us assess all the questions coming from our participants. So at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have here a short game for our participants, and then, oh, so sorry about that. So right now we'll now proceed to the awarding of certificates to our certificate of appreciation to our keynote speaker. To help me award a certificate, let me call in the Vice President for Students Affairs and Services. Please welcome Maria Lourdes P. Amante. Hi, ma'am, please do the honor.
Thank you so much, Sir Daryl. Samar State University, Catalogan City, Philippines, Office of University President. Certificate of recognition is awarded to Rostom D. Clemente in grateful recognition for imparting his valuable insights and expertise as a resource speaker during the webinar on computer literacy workshop held on May 19, 2021 at Samar State University. Given this 19th day of May 2021 at Samar State University, Catalogan City, Samar. Signed,
Right. So I believe, oh, there you go.
Thank you very much.
That was disconnected. Thank you so much, Sir Rostom. Sir Clemente, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for having me, and thank you. I hope you have learned a lot from those tricks on these Google apps, and I hope you will find it very useful in your every time you navigate these Google apps. Thank you very much for having
Thanks so
me.
much. Thank you so much, sir. We're very much delighted for your expertise that you have shared to us today. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to request all the participants to please open your cameras for the photo opportunities together with our keynote speaker. You please open your cameras now. All right, show those biggest smiles. So don't be shy, guys. All right, in a count of 3. So please give us your biggest smile, or your sweetest smile, okay? All right, in a count of 3. 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, so we still have another slides. So another 1, 2, 3, smile. All right, so I believe that was our last slide for this webinar. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, we will now proceed. Before we end this webinar, we'll have first a short game to our participants. So we will be giving prizes, a 20 peso load to our participants who will be able to get the correct answer, right? So we will be showing a logo. This based on the topic that was discussed to us by Sir Clemente. So once you're able to guess the logo, so you will win a 20 peso load. So fastest fair, guys. The first person or the first participant to get the correct answer will be the winner. All right. So again, fastest finger. So just type the correct answer right away to our chat box. So once again, all you have to do is to type your complete name, your number, and your answer. So we have the information posted on our screen. So example, Juan de la Cruz, cell phone number, and then your answer, right? Is everyone ready? All right, so logo number 1. All right, so what is this, guys? Come on, type in your answer. Once again, please do not forget to follow the format, okay? So, all right, I believe we have our first winner. Let's see if you're able to follow the format. Let's try to ask our moderator as well. We already have a winner, right?
Yes, sir. I believe it's Mr. Leonardo Pacardo Jr.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Leonardo Pacardo. You just won yourself a 20 peso load. So the load will be sent to you later, right after this webinar. Okay. All right. Next. Right. What is this logo, guys? Once again, don't forget to follow the format. So your name, your cell phone number, and your answer. So what is this logo? Come on, type in your answer. So we have Sir Lingan, who is also helping with us, checking the correct answers that was sent by our participants. And also Ma'am Andrea is also checking the answers from our participants. And we already have a winner for this.
Okay, so our winner for this round is Miss Julie Ann Beltran because the correct answer is Google Translate.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations.
Right. Congratulations, Miss Julianne. Right, next logo. All right, so I'm pretty sure you know this logo. So fastest finger. All right.
Okay, so I believe we already have a winner, Sir Daryl. It's from the the Zoom. Congratulations, Mr. Moises Calabria.
All right.
Google
Correct. The correct
Classroom is the
answer
correct
is
answer.
Google Classroom. That is correct. All right, we're down to our last two logos. So what is this logo, guys? This has just been discussed by our keynote speaker a while ago.
All right, so we already have a winner, Mr. Daryl Ambibilis.
All right.
So from the Zoom, it's Miss Rosalie Hanoras. The
All
correct
right.
answer is Google Drive.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And the last logo, what is this logo, guys? Come on, type in your answer. Right, we're getting a lot of answers from our participants now. Sorry, do we already have a winner for this logo?
Yes, sir. We already have a winner. The first one to key in the correct answer was Miss Rosalie, but since she already has, I guess she already has won on the Google Drive. So it's Mr. Crisologo Fotini or Mr. Fotini Crisologo. Congratulations, Mr. Fotini Crisologo.
All right, congratulations to all the winners. Thank you so much, sir, for your assistance, and congratulations to all the winners for our short game. So at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude this webinar, please take note that everybody, regardless of gender or status in life, should be given equal opportunities in all spheres of life. And that concludes our webinar on students with special needs and PWDs and OGT students. I hope everyone paid attention and took notes. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we look forward to working and meeting you guys to our upcoming events. Once again, my name is Daryl, your instructor from Mercedes Campus, signing off. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
God
you so
bless
much.
everyone. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Kindly click the attendance link in the Zoom chat box before you leave the meeting. Thank you. Thank you, Sir Rostom.
Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Sir Rostom, for
Thank you, Sir
for your
Daryl.
time. Thank you, sir.
Permission to leave.
Aba.
So kindly fill out the form using that link. If ever hindi na ninyo mahabol, we will post it in our Facebook page. Thank you.